On Friday afternoon, it started to snow heavily, the world outside our window quickly becoming enveloped in a white blanket. I stopped working to make a cup of tea and sit and watch the snowflakes falling thickly and silently outside our windows. It was tempting to stay indoors and curl up with a good wintry read, but the call of the snow was too strong. I had to go out and experience my first proper Yorkshire snowfall. Hi everyone, so it's Friday afternoon and as you can see I feel a bit like I'm in Narnia at the moment. The snow suddenly really started to come on, so I thought I'd go out for a little bit of walk in it and take you along with me. It's looking so magical and really like a winter wonderland by our house at the moment, so let's go exploring. Is there a better feeling than walking through fresh, unmarked snow? I don't think there is. I can see all of the daffodils poking through the ground out here, which is quite amazing to see in the midst of snow as well. I've found a bit of a sheltered spot under the tree and the daffodils are about to come up. Let me show you. You can see all of the daffodils starting to poke through the ground. I can't wait for when they're in bloom. So I've come out with some of these fat-filled coconut halves that are made for birds to hang on the tree. I meant to put them out yesterday and didn't get a chance, and now I feel quite guilty. So I'm going to hang some on this tree which I look out from my window, and hopefully the birds will have something to eat even though it is very snowy for them. I'm going to hang a few on. The birds love this tree and they come and sit in it all the time, so I hope they'll appreciate these coconut halves, and if they do peck out everything then I can always make some more of the suet and seed mixture to go in them. That's what I'm thinking anyway, so I'm going to trial it for now. I can hear the birds, so hopefully they're hungry. So we're back inside now, feeling quite chilly, and it's time to make a hot cup of tea. I think I might light the fire as well and get a little bit cozy. I have a bit more work to do this afternoon, but it was really fun to just go out for a little bit and enjoy the snow, especially as I've been reading a lot of books about snowstorms at the moment, which I'll be sharing with you more later. But yes, it was very atmospheric and really lovely to get out into the first proper bit of snow that we've had in Yorkshire. But time for tea now, I think.
The next day dawned white and pink and golden, with a beautiful sunrise turning the tops of the trees a burnished bronze and making the white landscape sparkle all the more brilliantly. I got up early so I could see the morning sun and breathe in the crisp, clear air before my first cup of tea.
Hi again, it's now Saturday afternoon, it's early afternoon. We've just had lunch. Mum made a lovely roast chicken and a green salad and twice baked potatoes, which was really nice. And we've had a nice morning. I went out fairly early in the morning to just go for a little walk because it's still beautifully snowy outside, but it's also sunny, which is lovely. Let me show you the view out the window. Isn't that lovely? It's so crisp and white out there. So I went for a lovely little walk in the morning, and we might go for a walk together this afternoon just on the grounds around where we live. And what I wanted to do now actually was to show you some of my Christmas presents. I always quite enjoy watching what other people have got for Christmas, and I got mainly books, which some of them you have seen already if you watched my vlog, the last one before Christmas, but I was lucky and got a few more on the day that I thought I would show you too. And it's really hard to vlog a lot at the moment because both Mum and I are being very cautious. We're really trying to just stay at home and act on the government advice, not take any needless journeys at all. We're very lucky because we can just go on walks in our sort of immediate vicinity and there's no one around. So we're really lucky for that. But it means that my vlogs will pretty much be confined to home and just the area immediately around me. But I still hope to make them as entertaining as possible. I know a lot of you wanted me to carry on vlogging after Vlogmas, so I hope you'll enjoy these videos. And I thought for part of this one it would be fun to show you my Christmas books and what I got for Christmas. So I was really lucky. I got one thing, not book related, but my dad had sent me some money for Christmas, which was really lovely of him, and my mum bought some books with that money that she surprised me with from my dad. But I also got this beautiful side table, which you can see we've put around here. I actually got this from Andy's antique shop in Ripon, which I showed you on my last Vlogmas video. So pleased with this. It's from William IV era, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. We needed a new side table. I'll come around this way so you can see it this way too. Yeah, we needed a new side table for in here. This completes now the living room in terms of what side tables we need. So I was so thrilled to see that in his shop when we went in actually. And then we were able to get it, which was really lovely for Christmas. So I'm so delighted with it. And yes, I've got this pile of books to show you that were my Christmas presents. Some of them you'll have seen already in the vlog, but yeah, quite a few I think you haven't. So I'm going to set up the camera somewhere so it's easier for me to film and show them to you at the same time. Okay, so I've got all set up now so I can show you the lovely books that I got for Christmas. A couple actually of the really special ones arrived after Christmas, but they just made that whole celebration of Christmas all that much more special because I got to spread it out a bit over the time. So my mum was so clever to find this amazing book. It's the first original Hogarth Press book that I've ever owned, so it was so exciting when this arrived. It's The Funeral March of a Marionette by Susan Buchan. And Susan Buchan was the wife of John Buchan, who wrote The 39 Steps, which is one of my favourite sort of spy thriller type books. I really love it. And John Buchan was Douglas's brother. Douglas was his sister, and she wrote some of my favourite books too. So Susan Buchan was her sister-in-law, which I thought was a really wonderful connection. Susan Buchan also was a friend of Virginia Woolf's, and it's just so special to have a book that I think that Virginia Woolf might possibly have touched, have handled herself. This one was published in 1935 and it's in amazing shape. I'm so thrilled. At the bottom you can see here it says published by Leonard and Virginia Woolf at the Hogarth Press, 52 Tavistock Square, London, WC1 1935. And the little wolf symbol of the Hogarth Press there. So the cover is really special too. It was designed by Vanessa Bell. I absolutely adore Vanessa Bell's artwork, and to have a book with a dust jacket that she designed is just really special. So this was such a fabulous gift. This is a non-fiction book. It's a little biography. But I'm really intrigued by Susan Buchan as a writer, and she also is known as Susan Tweedsmuir, and she wrote more novels under that name, and I have managed to find some of the novels, so I'm going to be reading those in the upcoming weeks and months as well. And yes, I'm just so excited by this though. It's very, very special to me already. And then another book that I knew was coming but that was late arriving, that my mum had also got me for Christmas, which was really special because it's one of my all-time favourite books, and that's The Little White Horse by Elizabeth Gouge. Let me show you the cover because it's just so beautiful, and this is really special to me. I read this book when I was about 9 years old, and I just fell in love with the whole world that Elizabeth Gouge conjures in this book. I loved everything about it, And I haven't read it for years actually. I'm really looking forward to a reread. I've never had a particularly nice edition of this book, even though it was one of my childhood favourites, and I've always wanted a lovely edition. This isn't a first, it's a reprint, because the first is just astronomically expensive, but it still is quite an early reprint. It still has the original dust jacket and all of the original end papers. I love books with a map like that as the end paper, and it also has all of the original illustrations and the frontispiece there, which I think is so special. I remember reading the description of Maria's bedroom when I first read this and just absolutely loving it. So this is definitely a book I'm going to cherish forever, and I'm so thrilled to finally have such a beautiful edition of it. It was really an amazing Christmas present. And then I love these little candlestick press poetry books. They're little books, and the idea is that you send them instead of a card to someone, and they have all sorts of different themes. This one is Christmas presents, this one is 10 poems about walking, and they also do 10 poems about baking, for instance, and all sorts of different topics. I've collected quite a few of them. But when we were in the Stripy Badger bookshop in Grasmere, you might remember that vlog, my mum snuck back and she bought these two that she had seen in there. So they were in my Christmas stocking, which was a really lovely surprise. And I love these. I think they always design such beautiful covers, and you know I love poetry, so these make the perfect little presents for me. So I was so thrilled to get them. And then this book I just actually finished reading the other day. It was so brilliant. It's The Snowstorm by Beryl Netherclift. And it was such a lovely story. It's one of those time slip stories. It's about some siblings, two female twins and their younger brother. They go to stay with their rather eccentric elderly aunt in her ramshackle house in the English countryside. And it's a beautiful old house, but the aunt doesn't have enough money to really keep it up properly. The children start exploring and they find hidden staircases and also a very special snow globe. And when they shake the snow globe, something magical happens, and they find that they can travel back in time and meet some of their ancestors and some of the people who lived in the house hundreds of years before them. And in doing this, they find a way also to rescue the house and restore its fortunes. But it's just such a charming little story. There are amazing descriptions of food in this as well, which I absolutely loved. So this was a perfect book to just curl up with, and a really lovely present. It's also all set in January, so that made it a really great book to read this month already. And then you know I love Miss Read, and I'm gradually trying to get the vintage editions of her books. So my mum got me this one, Miss Clare Remembers, which is one of the Fairacre books, which is my favourite series. I mean, I love the Thrush Green books as well as the Fairacre books, but I was particularly delighted to get this one. So that was really lovely. And then I had, I think, already spoken about this book, Castaway Christmas by Margaret J. Baker. And I'd picked this up and I'd shared it in one of my videos about what Christmas books to read. And I'd said I'd really wanted to read this one myself because there's a Miranda in it. Well, I did read it over Christmas and I thoroughly enjoyed it. My mum was so clever because she found the second book in the series. So this one is called Off From Crumpets, which I think is the best title of a book ever. And it's about the same family, and they always seem to have a bit of a disaster, this family. In the first book, the children have to cope with flooding. And in this book, they do actually have their parents with them this time, but they all get trapped by the snow. And apparently this book was based on the real snowstorm that happened in the UK in 1963, and that was a sort of historically horrendous winter. In fact, I think my mum was born just before that Christmas or something, and she told me that yes, indeed, it was like a terrible one, and people in her family spoke about it for ages afterwards. So this book is set during that winter, and the family find themselves trapped in this house. I think it's set in Somerset, though I can't quite remember, but I've just read it and I absolutely adored it too. The character Miranda I really like in this, although this story focuses a little bit more on the younger sister called Pinks, and Miranda has less of a role in this one, just more confined to worrying about Pinks and trying to make sure she's safe. So poor Miranda's a bit duller in this book, I found, than in the other one, which is a bit of a shame, but I still really enjoyed it, and all comes right in the end, and it's just a charming sort of family story, but another one that I loved reading. And I really loved the illustrations, which are by Richard Kennedy, and that's very special because I've just read his Boy at the Hogarth Press, which is by him and about his experiences working at the Hogarth Press with Leonard Woolf and meeting Virginia Woolf and all of that. So I love, and he grew up to become an illustrator of children's books. He was only about a 17-year-old boy, I think, when he worked at the Hogarth Press, and he wasn't that great at the job. But I just finished reading that, so it was so fun to get another book that features his illustrations. So that was wonderful. Oh, and then I was so thrilled, another amazing Christmas present. I've featured this book on Tea Reads at least once and maybe twice even already. It's Applebough by Noel Streatfeild. I'm such a huge fan of Noel Streatfeild. I read all of her books when I was little, and I still love to reread many of them now. Applebough's always been a favourite of mine, but I only had a paperback edition, a bit of an old tatty one. So I was so thrilled to get the original edition with this and with the beautiful illustrations. I think, is this one Shirley Hughes? No, it's Marjorie Gill, who I love her illustrations as well. Actually, she reminds me a bit of Shirley Hughes sometimes, the style of them. And Shirley Hughes has done some of Streatfeild's books, but I absolutely love this cover. So I'm really, really thrilled to have got that. And then I used to have this book, Georgette Hare's Regency World, but I think I gave it away or took it to a charity shop in one of my many moves when I was living in London. And I was really regretting not having this book anymore because I love Georgette Hare. I love her books that are set in the Regency period, and I was thinking I'd really like to read this again. And really happily, this was under the Christmas tree for me. So I was absolutely delighted to have it back again. And then this was also another Christmas gift from my mum, which is The Christmas Star, a festive story collection by Eva Ibbotson. I adore Eva Ibbotson's writing. I think it's so nice to have got so many of my childhood favourites as Christmas presents, because I think there's something extra special and nostalgic about returning to childhood reads at Christmas time. They're amongst the best comfort reads, I think, to go back to some of those favourite books of your childhood. I loved Eva Ibbotson from a young child all through to early adulthood, because she wrote a lot of brilliant books, both for young children and also for young adults. So if you haven't read The Secret of Platform 13, then please do. That is for quite young children, but I think it was one of those books that just really brought home how magical a book can be to me when I was little. I absolutely adored that story, and it still is a lovely one to read as an adult. But she wrote lots of brilliant, very funny books for young children, and then some young adult books which are wonderful too, like The Morning Gift. That's such a favourite of mine. But there are many wonderful, wonderful books, and I really like her short stories as well. So I don't think I've read all of the ones that are in here though. There are only 3, but I think 1 or 2 I haven't heard of before. So I'm really looking forward to reading this because it looks really lovely. And then I was so thrilled to get this Slipstream, a memoir by Elizabeth Jane Howard. I've spoken a lot about Elizabeth Jane Howard, I feel, on here already. I love her Cazalet Chronicles, and I'm also really enjoying discovering and reading her standalone books as well. But she also had an incredible life. Quite a lot of her writing is based on her life, in fact. So I'm really keen to read her memoir. I can't wait to start on this one. And then these you'll have seen already if you watched my vlog before Christmas, but I'll show you quickly again in case you didn't. The World of Elizabeth Gouge by Sylvia Gower. This is one of the new Girls Gone By publisher editions, and I'm so glad they reprinted this book because it really is quite rare. The original one is hard to find now. Obviously I'm a huge fan of Elizabeth Gouge, both of her children's books and her adult books, so I can't wait to read more about her life and the world of her books through reading this. I'm really looking forward to it. And then another favourite of my childhood, A Traveller in Time by Alison Utley. I love this gorgeous edition of it. It's so special to have favourite books in beautiful editions. So I'm over the moon to have got this one, and I can't wait to reread it. And then finally this book, which I was wanting for ages, The Landscapes of Anne of Green Gables by Catherine Reed. And I can't wait. I've already started flicking through this one actually quite a bit, and there's some lovely photographs of Prince Edward Island. I really want to visit Prince Edward Island one day. That would be amazing. But until I can get there, I at least have this book so I can picture it all and read about the places that inspired Anne of Green Gables, which is one of my very favourite books too. So yes, I certainly feel very spoilt, very lucky this Christmas, and I can't wait to enjoy all of these books throughout 2021 and beyond. Do let me know what books you got for Christmas. I'd love to know. I hope there are some special ones under the tree. Anyway, I'm not sure what we're going to do now. We might try and go for a little walk again, or, well, I'll head into the kitchen, see what Mum's up to and what she fancies doing. Hello.
Hello, darling. You vlogging?
Yes.
Hello, everyone.
What are you up to?
Well, I've just washed this really hot because there was a stain on it which I managed to get out.
Oh, well done.
So I'm just gonna hang it to dry. And what do you want to do? Do you fancy a walk?
Yes, I was going to say, shall we go for a little walk
That
now?
sounds lovely to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It does look, the snow's still out there.
It definitely is. It hasn't all melted yet, has it?
No,
I noticed
not
the
yet.
birds have been very busy where you hung the coconut halves.
Oh, have they?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
We wanted them to hopefully come to the tree.
Yes, well, they've been very busy. They're sort of nervous to go to the coconut shells, I think, because of the wind.
Oh.
But they hop all around it, take a peck,
Well,
and then,
yeah, I have seen some of them take a peck.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it takes them a while.
Hopefully,
Hopefully they'll get used to it and trust it.
yes, exactly. All right, well, we better get our
Coats
wellies on.
Get ready. Yeah, wellies, yes.
Yeah, wellies
All right.
and coats. All right, see you in a bit.
Bye.
It's a beautiful day.
It really is. It's
We're
lovely.
just catching the last rays of sunshine.
Yeah.
Because the days are still pretty short, aren't they?
They definitely are, but lovely, crisp, crunchy snow to walk
It is.
in.
It really is crunching.
If you just listen, we can go crunch, crunch, crunch. It's wonderful.
Yes. well, let's keep going.
Yes. So what you doing now, love?
Oh, I'm just popping wheelbarrow back.
Yes, okay.
I was a bit worried about the snow. So.
Yes.
During my first winter in Yorkshire, I've come to appreciate the beautiful light and the wide open skies. I was worried that I'd find the country dark and dreary in the cold months, but in fact the opposite is true. There is so much beauty and colour surrounding us, even on the shortest days, and a sunny afternoon following the first snowfall is truly something special.
I love seeing the rose hips.
They're just
the
lovely. Yes.
It's starting to melt a bit now, actually, the snow. It's so pretty. They're great big fat ones.
They made such lovely roses in the summer too, so now we're getting them all the season.
Yes, which is so lovely to see.
It is.
Wasn't that lovely?
It was lovely.
Yes, we
Yes.
had such a nice walk. Feeling a little bit chilled now.
Need to go
our
in.
noses are a bit red.
I think we need to go in and get a hot drink, don't you?
Yes, I think we need a nice
Okay.
warming drink. So
Lovely.
let's go do that.
Okay.
So we're back in and it's time to get cosy. I think I'll light a fire. I know you'll appreciate that.
I really will, yes. She's such a good fire maker.
Yes, I'm going to get the fire going and Mum's going to put the kettle on.
I will. Cup of tea.
Yes, I'm going to get lovely and cosy.
Sounds good to me.
You look cosy.
Oh, it's lovely. There's nothing so heartwarmingly cosy as a fire, is there? It's really wonderful.
It is. It's perfect. Well, you've got your tea.
Yeah.
I'm going to get mine.
Okay.
I've got my tea and I'm ready to get cosy as well. It's been a lovely Saturday, a lovely start to the weekend. It was really exciting to be able to go out and enjoy the snow a little bit and see our landscape immediately around us just transformed. It was really special. But I'm going to leave the vlog here now. Thank you so much for watching. Do give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll be back again very soon with more bookish videos, more vlogs, and of course more tea reads with Mum as well. But yes, thank you so much for watching and see you again soon. Goodbye.